My best friend and I were both thrown into a tragic novel. He was assigned to redeem Lu Ruyan, the mentally unstable girl who was bullied to the point of jumping off a building. I was responsible for saving Luo Wanqing, the poor little thing with paralyzed legs, with all our heart and soul for 11 years. We finally changed both of their tragic endings. Under my friend's efforts, the mentally unstable girl, who almost jumped to her death, became a towering business mogul in the world, and Luo Wanqing, this humble girl who was trampled into the mud, also stood up again. Just when the strategy was about to succeed, their white moonlight male lead returned. 1 second, my friend and I decided to stay in this world to live for them. The next second, the strategy progress dropped to 0, making my friends and my 11 years of effort a joke. My good friend became completely discouraged and gave up the strategy, while I still held onto a glimmer of hope to find Luo Wanqing. I actually spent tens of millions for today's proposal, preparing for a full half year, choosing Mohei, Luo Wanqing's favorite place, the place where we first met. Perfect timing, location, and circumstances. The once-in-a-lifetime aurora, red roses covering the ground and fireworks blooming across the sky. All of it speaking of my passionate love for her. But Luo Wanqing, as the protagonist, had been restless all along, even when I knelt on one knee, holding up the diamond ring, making a lifelong vow to her. She was absent-minded. Not only did she not extend her hand to me, she also didn't say those words, "I do." I knelt on the ground, frowning, looking at Wanqing, who was unusually strange today. I had a bad feeling. Her best friend suddenly squeezed through the crowd, handing her the phone, very anxiously saying, "Wanqing, it's his live stream recording. You must watch this quickly. If you miss it today, you'll definitely regret it." Luo Wanqing frantically ran toward her best friend, taking the phone and clicking on the live stream recording without hesitation. That familiar voice came from the phone. It was the male lead song Jingnan, pouring out his heart about his own secret love. He said with regret, "I'm just a coward. I love her deeply, but because of my illness, I can only push her away with my own hands." Hearing this, the relatives and friends who were originally cheering, blessing us to last forever, each one changed their expression. Some even started watching the drama unfold. Luo Wanqing tightly gripped the phone, not even noticing the diamond ring falling to the ground. The scene became eerily quiet. Even the romantic background music stopped. Finally, Luo Wanqing broke the standoff, looking at me with apologetic eyes, guiltily saying, "I'm sorry, Ethan. I have something very important today. I must leave first." After saying this, she clutched the phone and tried to leave. I desperately grabbed her hand, unwilling to give up, trying to make her soften her heart for me. "Wanqing, I beg you, please stay. So many people are watching. Let's finish the proposal ceremony first, okay?" I lowered my posture, my entire being humble to the extreme, my heart already twisted with pain, but she coldly pried my fingers away, saying impatiently, "Ethan, can't you be more understanding? It's just a proposal. When can't you propose?" Song Jingnan is alone abroad now. Facing his illness, he must feel very helpless and panicked. He's different from you. You have everything, but he only has himself. I suppressed the bitterness in my heart, asking with difficulty, "When will you come back? Or should I go with you?" My internal organs began churning and twisting in pain. I knew this was the system warning me. I bit my tongue to stay conscious, but she didn't notice anything wrong with my condition at all. My behavior made her completely lose patience, her voice suddenly rising, "Ethan, enough. Don't you have any self-awareness? Your appearance in front of him will only make him angry. Let's talk about the proposal when I come back." After saying this, she pushed through the crowd and left without looking back. I forced myself to stay calm, trying hard to force a smile to appease the relatives and friends. Then I also left indifferently. As for that diamond ring, forgotten by everyone, it had already been stepped into the desert by Luo Wanqing, buried somewhere unknown. I found a deserted place to feel the wind, using cigarettes and alcohol to numb my emotions. I spent a fortune to keep tonight's fireworks blooming continuously. The brilliant fireworks in the sky seemed particularly glaring at this moment, paired with that breathtakingly beautiful aurora, like slaps hitting my face hard, reminding me that I'm just a clown. I never expected my carefully prepared surprise would become so ironic. After watching the male lead song Jingnan's live stream, Luo Wanqing was so excited she couldn't care about anything, her mind full of her beloved but unattainable white moonlight, alone abroad receiving treatment, lonely and pitiful. But she forgot to consider me. in front of so many relatives and friends, leaving me alone. What kind of looks would I face? How would I be mocked and ridiculed? But now none of this matters to me anymore. I lay on the beach, calculating in my mind how much longer this strategy mission would last. Until dawn broke, I finally got up and left alone. Last night's mess had already been cleaned up, as if yesterday's proposal had never existed. I walked along Mohi's streets, smoking and walking to the hotel entrance. A little girl ran up to me, carefully taking out a diamond ring from her embrace. I was stunned, looking at the all-too-familiar diamond ring. My heart ached sharply. I began to fantasize unrealistically. Maybe Luo Wanqing suddenly realized yesterday that she hadn't put the ring away properly, and rushed back to the scene to pick it up. Otherwise, why would the ring appear here? I instinctively took out my phone to check. Luo Wanqing hadn't sent me a single call or message. The little girl handed me the ring. Big brother, your diamond ring. That pretty sister across the street asked me to return it to you. She said this ring is very important to you. I looked in the direction the little girl was pointing. Somewhat surprised, I froze in place. It was actually my company's business partner, Susan. She waved at me and turned to leave. At the same time, I received a message from her. Mr. Johnson, nothing in the business world can stump you. I hope the small storms in love won't wear down your pride either. If you don't want that ring, just throw it away again. But please don't throw yourself away. I sighed and replied, thank you. I gave the diamond ring to the little girl, turned around and entered the hotel. For the next few days I followed my own planned itinerary, playing in Mohe for several days. This was my 5th year since entering this world. Soon it would be the 6th year. Back then, Luo Wanqing's family went bankrupt. He repeatedly confessed to his childhood friend, the male lead, but was brutally rejected. Devastated, he came to Mohe in a daze. When the system arranged for us to meet, he was drunk, unconscious on the street. I was the one who picked him up and brought him back to the hotel. When he woke up the next day, he saw the male lead and female lead's high-profile official announcement, and their overseas vacation posts on social media. Immediately, he held his head and cried bitterly, his heart and eyes full of unwillingness and inability to let go. I approached him according to the mission, watching him live in a daze every day, drowning his sorrows in alcohol, living each day in agony. And my existence was to redeem him, to help him walk out of this unrequited love, to let him experience what it feels like to be loved during these 5 years, except for the acting at the beginning, to complete the objective. Through our daily interactions that followed, I unknowingly developed feelings for him. He was very resistant to my approach at first, acting like he had locked his heart away from love. But as time went on, while he watched the male lead and female lead's happy life, he also began trying to forget the male lead, and his attempt was to slowly accept me, to accept my kindness toward him, to accept my presence in his life. We were like all couples in love, intimate and close, talking about everything. He would also take the initiative to kiss me, take the initiative to pick me up from work, take the initiative to cook dinner for me. I thought it was my 5 years of devotion that moved his heart, that finally made him open his heart and accept me, willing to spend a lifetime with me, until this huge misunderstanding at the proposal scene. But it's probably for the better. Better to end the pain quickly than let it linger. Since he can't let go, then let me be the one to let go. I returned home and had someone pack up all of Luo Wanqing's belongings and sent them to his parents' place. As for this house we lived in for over 4 years, every corner held memories. Now looking at it was also an eyesore. I tore down every photo from the photo wall, all our pictures together, ripping them into pieces and throwing them in the trash. No matter how much I did, as long as Song Jingnen gave him a glimmer of hope, all my efforts meant nothing. He wouldn't cherish or value them. I had a realtor put the house up for sale and moved to a bachelor apartment near the company. After sorting everything out, Weibo pushed me Luo Wanqing's latest update. He posted a picture of intertwined fingers, with the caption, "As long as you need me, I will definitely appear by your side without hesitation." Fortunately, nothing is too far away. The location showed England. The comment section already had people sarcastically asking, "Wanqing, you're holding hands with someone else. What about that fool, Ethan?" Luo Wanqing replied, "You already called him a fool, so he's definitely just waiting around." I silently liked the post, then blocked his Weibo, and threw myself back into work, numbing myself with busyness every day. As for Luo Wanqing, forget about a phone call or message. He didn't send me anything. until a week later, the senior citizens tour group that his parents were part of called to ask me to renew their membership. Only then did I feel a deep sense of powerlessness. During these 5 years, I worked hard to build my career in this world, making it flourish and prosper. For these 5 years, whether it was his parents' retirement fund or his younger brother's overseas education expenses, it was all provided by me. If not for this phone call, I almost forgot about this responsibility. The staff member on the other end politely reminded me to renew his parents' $400,000 membership fee to support their wonderful retirement life. I flatly refused, saying, "Don't contact me anymore. I'm not their son, and I don't have much relationship with the Luo family. Go find Luo Wanqing instead." After hanging up, I also canceled Luo Wanqing's credit card. I didn't know until I checked, but when I did investigate, in just 10 short days, he had spent hundreds of thousands of my money. The expenses were either at high-end estates or fancy restaurants. Was this really for medical treatment? If it was for treatment, would he go to these money pits to live lavishly? I didn't waste any more time on him. Until I was about to leave work and go home, I received a commanding text message from Luo Wanqing. "I'm returning to the country the day after tomorrow. Come pick me up at the airport." I glanced at it and acted like I didn't see it. For the past 5 years, I spent almost every day with Luo Wanqing, except for work hours. The rest of the time was either at home watching shows with him, or going to the supermarket to buy ingredients he loved, personally cooking for him. Now that I don't have to revolve around him all day, I have plenty of free time in this strange world. Besides Luo Wanqing, I only had business partners. But now, I can freely plan what I want to do tomorrow, what I want to do in the future, living the life I want as I please. After finishing my night run, when I got home and was about to play games to pass time, I received a call from Susan. After a moment of surprise, I answered. Her crisp voice came through. "Ethan, no matter what, your situation as the leader of Johnson Corporation will more or less affect the company's image. I have to remind you, handle your private affairs well. Don't let those entertainment media maliciously speculate." After listening, I was completely confused about what was happening, until I saw the live stream she shared with me. I finally understood. The live stream showed Luo Wanqing and Song Jingnen drinking from wedding cups. I felt a very strong sense of rejection in my heart, very powerless and depressed, an indescribable sadness, not because of Luo Wanqing's intimate contact with someone else, but feeling that my past 5 years weren't worth it. In the live stream, they acted intimately, like lovers in passionate romance. Even their gazes were telling each other subtle love. When someone called in asking about those gossip questions, Luo Wanqing's gaze remained, looking at Song Jingnen with deep affection, answering without care. "Jingnen and I have been childhood sweethearts. As for Ethan, he's just a lapdog, like a piece of adhesive plaster. You can't shake him off, even if he gets angry and jealous. So what? Men like him are destined to never leave me. I won't indulge his bad habits. If he wants to be angry, let him be angry. If he really wants to marry me, what's the problem with him waiting a few years for me?" Luo Wanqing's answer stirred up quite a storm in the live stream. Comments flooded frantically. I roughly scanned and saw 2 groups of people. One group was shocked, expressing doubt. "Miss Luo, you're being so unreasonable. Isn't this too unfair to your fiancé? This kind of intimate behavior. What's the difference between this and cheating? No matter how much he likes you, you don't need to trample on his sincere feelings like this. I'm done with this woman. Has she forgotten that the Luo family went bankrupt long ago? Everything she has now was given by her fiancé." The other group sympathized with Song Jingnen, praising Luo Wanqing enthusiastically, shipping their couple like crazy. "Wow, Miss Luo is so powerful and domineering. Simply a role model for women. Miss Luo is right. Men shouldn't be spoiled. We women are independent individuals first, and only secondly are we men's girlfriends or fiancés. We should also have our own lives, instead of just revolving around men." I agree with the comment above, and I prefer childhood sweetheart romances. Look how perfect they are together. I really hope they get married, and I'm blindly guessing they must be lovers. Lovers should end up together. In the last live stream, the host said, he's always had someone he deeply loves in his heart. Because of his hereditary disease, to avoid being a burden, he never expressed his love out loud. Poor little Nian is so pitiful. I wish someone could love him properly. I also feel Miss Luo is the one he mentioned. the one he loves deeply but can't confess to. Look, not long after his live stream, Miss Luo appeared. I didn't continue watching. I closed the live stream, washed away my fatigue and went to sleep. The next day at work, I had my assistant handle the marketing accounts posting recorded live streams online. These online things are just passing trends. Once the wind dies down, it's nothing. Time flew by and it was the third day. Luo Wanqing returned to the country. Early in the morning, he sent me his flight information, asking me to pick him up in advance. I originally didn't plan to go, but the system reminded me. The strategy mission hasn't ended yet, so the host cannot refuse the target's requests. The host should try again. Maybe there's still a chance for redemption. If you perform well, the system can monitor it. Even if the host's strategy fails, after the mission ends, the punishment can be reduced based on the host's performance. I fell silent, my heart caught in conflict and deep thought. Strategy failure meant annihilation. I wouldn't even have a chance to return to the real world. But I wouldn't let any chance of survival slip by, so this reduced punishment was very tempting to me, so I finished the work at hand early and drove to the airport. I waited at the airport for less than 20 minutes before I saw Luo Wanqing. When he saw me, he smiled with satisfaction. But what he didn't know was, I wasn't sincerely here to pick him up. To me now, he was just a strategy target. I took Luo Wanqing's suitcase, pretending not to see Song Jingnan behind him, and didn't take the initiative to greet him. But Luo Wanqing frowned, pushing Song Jingnan's suitcase to me as well. Somewhat displeased, he scolded, "Ethan, don't you have any awareness? Can't you see that Adrian is not feeling well? Don't you know to help him with his suitcase?" I was stunned for a moment but didn't refuse, taking the suitcase. Following behind them expressionlessly, he enthusiastically linked arms with Song Jingnan. The two chatted and laughed together, but their conversation topics included me. Luo Wanqing said proudly, "Adrian, see, I told you he wouldn't get angry. Just relax. Ethan has always been very obedient these 5 years. Although he can be unreliable sometimes, and his temper isn't great, he follows my every word. I'm quite satisfied with that aspect." I didn't interrupt or refute. In the car, Luo Wanqing sat directly in the back, right next to Song Jingnan. I instinctively glanced at him. He had motion sickness, never sat in the back. Even when taking rideshares, he always sat in front. A flash of panic crossed his eyes. He awkwardly explained, "Adrian just returned to the country. I'm keeping him company in the back. Just drive properly. Watch the road. Why are you looking at me? Let's go to the hotel I sent you first." I said nothing more, suppressing the emotions in my heart. I looked down to navigate but still couldn't help, taking out the motion sickness patches I always kept in the car, and handed them over. "Put the motion sickness patches on early, so you won't feel uncomfortable after getting out." After saying this, I ignored their reactions and focused on driving, but Song Jingnan's phone that he'd been holding suddenly let out a mocking laugh. I'm speechless. In all my years, this is the first time I've witnessed a simp this close up. I never knew someone could simp to this degree. I'm absolutely shocked. Miss Luo is really amazing. She's got a real system for training men. Livestream family, did you all see that? Even I, as a woman, can't stand watching this. Although Miss Luo and our hottie haven't done anything too excessive, this man is way too tolerant to love to this extent. Has he thrown away all his self-respect? His girlfriend is practically cheating on him. Not only does he stay silent, he's still concerned about whether his girlfriend gets carsick. He's simply the ancestor of all simps. I remained silent, but Luo Wanqing opened his mouth somewhat awkwardly. "Adrian, maybe you should turn off this live stream." Song Jingnan looked somewhat surprised. He said apologetically, "Sorry, Wanqing. I've been doing social media these past 2 years. Every day at this time, I have to live stream with my fans without fail. Did it disturb Ethan's driving? I'm sorry. I'll turn the volume down right now." This manipulative statement shocked me, but I didn't interfere. Luo Wanqing quickly said, "No, it's fine, continue your stream." When my phone rang, I saw my assistant reply with an OK gesture. Thinking of what I arranged this morning, I subtly looked at the rearview mirror. Sure enough, the paid annual subscriber who connected with the company had changed again. This time it was actually a male fan. He said loudly, "Host, I've been watching your live stream for several days. I want to ask you a question. How do you make these women fall head over heels for you and be devoted to you? If I remember correctly, you should be married, right? Half a month ago, I saw you and your wife shopping together at the mall. The male fan hadn't finished speaking when Song Jingnan quickly kicked him out of the live stream and blocked him. Song Jing Yan explained casually. Where did this hater come from looking for attention? Which internet celebrity these years doesn't have some persona? I almost couldn't hold back my laughter. Luo Wan Qing didn't know if he heard his explanation. His face was very dark, not knowing what he was thinking. The fans weren't clear, but he couldn't possibly be unclear. Back then Song Jingnan indeed loved the female lead to death. The fact that they got married was also true. I just don't know if Luo Wanqing at this moment felt ashamed for his self-projection. After dropping them off at the hotel, I used having something to do as an excuse and left directly. At 1 a.m., I was woken from my sleep by Luo Wanqing. He called me several times in a row. When I didn't answer the calls, he kept making video calls. I didn't want to see him, but for that damn reduced punishment, I still chose to answer. After all, the mission wasn't over yet. He was still my target. I couldn't let the points I earned by swallowing my pride be deducted because of one phone call. Ethan, didn't you receive my messages? I'm downstairs at this hotel. Come pick me up. Being disturbed from sleep, I simply sat up and checked my phone. He indeed sent me messages, but Susan also sent me a string of texts. Ethan, I feel your taste in women is really terrible. Of course, your girlfriend is stupid enough too. Tonight I went to dinner with friends at the Spear Hotel and ran into your stupid girlfriend. She got slapped for being someone's mistress. The man she traveled thousands of miles to find is actually married. What's funny is when she got hit, that man didn't protect her, didn't even say a word for her. What's most ridiculous is, the man actually carried the woman who hit her and took her upstairs. Your fiancé's heart must be shattered to pieces. You should go comfort her. I was somewhat surprised. When did Susan become so gossipy? However, the complicated relationship between Song Jingnan and Luo Wanqing, I was all too familiar with. Luo Wanqing was just being wishful. His character setting was just a supporting female role. After all, the reason Song Jingnan returned to the country with him and had dinner together, making close contact, was probably because he was fighting with the female lead. Luo Wanqing was just delivering himself as a plaything for him to use. After thinking about it, I seriously corrected, my proposal wasn't successful, so she doesn't count as my fiancé. For a moment, I almost forgot. The phone was still connected. On the other end, Luo Wanqing was furious. Ethan, what are you doing? Not answering calls for so long. And when you finally answer, you don't speak. Are you asleep? I haven't even gone home yet. How can you not understand me? This last sentence, I actually heard a strange sense of grievance and complaint. He was actually feeling wronged. What did he mean by complaining about me? I wasn't the one who abandoned him. I sighed helplessly and said, the car is at the shop for maintenance. Take a taxi to your parents' place yourself. An incredulous voice came from the other end. What do you mean? What do you mean go to my parents' place? Ethan, you're angry, aren't you? I'm sorry, I'll apologize, okay? Stop being mad at me. Hurry and come pick me up. I'm so tired. I want to go home and sleep. Don't be petty and misunderstand anything. This time returning to the country with Song Jingnan was his suggestion. He said he hadn't been back for a long time and missed everything about home. Since it was on the way, I came back with him. You know, he and I grew up together. Our relationship is extraordinary. No matter what, I should fulfill my host duties and have dinner with him. Stop being moody. Aren't I preparing to come home now? It's not like I'm staying out all night. Your jealousy is getting ridiculous. Seeing he was about to continue, I couldn't help but interrupt. You don't need to explain anything to me. I'm not angry. I can't pick you up. Really, because the car is at the shop for maintenance. As for telling you to take a taxi to your parents' place, it's because that house, I had the realtor sell it. It's too far from the company. It's inconvenient for my commute. Your things are also at your parents' place. Suddenly an angry roar came from the other end. Even his voice carried trembling and shrillness. Ethan, you bastard, what did you say? What do you mean my things are at my parents' place? What right do you have to sell my house? I irritably lit a cigarette, patiently reminding him, the house is mine. The disposal rights are in my hands. He was obviously enraged by my attitude, his tone suddenly rising. Ethan, enough. Even jealousy has limits, okay? Can't your mind be a little cleaner? Why do you think such dirty thoughts? Song Jingnan and I are really just friends. He's already married, you know that. Let me say it again. He's with his wife right now. We all have our own lives. If you can't change this petty habit, I really don't know how. We'll get along after marriage. Ethan, why can't you understand me? You calm down yourself. I'll wait for you to finish calming down and then come coax me. This last sentence, his voice carried some choking. I clearly felt that he, on the other end, was emotionally down, slightly gasping. But as the call was silently hung up, I didn't care about his emotions, just turned off my phone again, forcing myself to fall asleep. But my heart was completely chaotic. I couldn't calm down no matter what, understand. How else was I supposed to understand him? When had he ever understood me? My mood was depressed to the extreme. Unable to sleep, I still went out, but I didn't go pick up Luo Wanqing. Instead, I went to a bar to drink away my sorrows. I love Luo Wanqing, although I've now decided to cut ties and stop loving. But feelings aren't something you can stop just by deciding to. But I never expected that I would run into the lost and soul-shattered Luo Wanqing at the noisy bar. He was drinking with a group of people. I recognized several of the girls. Those were sisters who used to play well with him when the Luo family wasn't bankrupt. The bar wasn't very crowded at this time. The spot where I sat wasn't far from them, so their conversation came through clearly. One girl said, "Wanqing, you said Ethan, who's always been a wife-spoiling maniac, didn't agree to come pick you up today, and sent all your things to your parents' place. The house you lived in for so many years was also sold. Is this real or fake? With his current capabilities, there's no need for him to sell that house." Another girl said, "I suspect Ethan must be angry. You made such a scene at the engagement party, making him lose face in front of so many people. After returning to the country, you're still entangled with another man. He must be in an angry state right now. You should go coax him quickly." Several people's voices sounded somewhat anxious, but Luo Wanqing looked completely indifferent, saying arrogantly, "Coax. Why should I coax him? He's the one being petty. I won't indulge his bad habits. I really don't understand why you all make such a big deal. Being jealous and petty is his usual behavior. Don't I know Ethan well enough? He's convinced that in this world he only has me. Even if I wanted to shake off this clingy pest, it would be as difficult as climbing to heaven. He's just throwing a little tantrum. After he calms down for 2 days, he'll come crawling back to apologize and make me happy." Among them, one girl looked at Luo Wanqing's hand with surprise, asking puzzledly, "Wanqing, where's the couple's ring your Ethan bought you? I remember when you posted it on social media. It was quite big. Whether it was the style or the carats, it was enviably beautiful. Didn't you refuse to let us even touch it before? Why did you take it off now? Don't tell me you really don't plan to marry Ethan. You don't care if he gets angry, and you're not wearing your couple's rings anymore." Hearing this, I instinctively touched the couple's ring on my finger. As if possessed, I took it off, probably because I'd worn it for quite a while. Taking it off made my finger hurt a bit. Looking at the lonely ring in my hand, with our initials still engraved inside, my heart felt dazed. He didn't accept the diamond ring I proposed with this time, didn't even care, letting the expensive diamond ring be trampled into the sand. But this ring on our hands also had extraordinary meaning. We picked it out together the year before last. He really liked it. After putting it on, he wouldn't take it off even when bathing. But at this moment, his finger was indeed empty. I looked at Luo Wanqing with unfocused eyes, not knowing what he was thinking. Suppressing the bitterness in my heart, I vaguely anticipated his answer. Did he not want that past? And not want me anymore either? But he didn't answer this question until another close friend of his earnestly tried to persuade him. "Wanqing, what are you really thinking? You wouldn't give up such a good Ethan right in front of you, would you? To continue being a fool beside that man? Don't forget he's already married, and you've been with Ethan for so many years. Everyone can see how good he is to you. Don't really miss out on the person who's best to you because of an unworthy man. I'm afraid you'll regret it later. This is the first time Ethan has gone against your wishes. You can see you've crossed his bottom line. You really should be more sensible." The girl who just asked about the rings also chimed in. "Your Ethan is really quite good. All these years, relying entirely on his hard work in the workplace, he's maintained the dignity and facade for you and the Luo family. So much so that, even though you're no longer that wealthy young lady, you still live prosperously. If you really don't know how to cherish and repeatedly waste Ethan's sincere heart, you'll truly regret it when you lose him later. You and Song Jingnen really aren't suitable. If you were suitable, you wouldn't have separated back then. Now that so many years have passed, You both have your own lives. Some unnecessary contact really should be restrained. Another girl, who hadn't spoken, lit a cigarette, blowing smoke rings and adding a few words. I also agree. Look at what happened at the hotel this afternoon. When Song Jingnan's wife appeared and slapped you, Song Jingnan didn't say a word to defend you. He didn't even fart. From beginning to end, his eyes were glued to his wife. Your grievances, your tears. The slap you received, he didn't care at all. If it were Ethan, how heartbroken he would be. Miss, you're not stupid, you're a smart person. You really should figure out clearly what you actually want. Don't continue being confused like this. Luo Wanqing frowned throughout, until he couldn't bear it anymore, and spoke with some displeasure, his voice carrying some irritation. All right, you're all right. Ethan is a good man. Wasn't he good a few years ago, too? That situation was a confrontation between two women. What business does a man have interfering? What could he say or do? You can't blame him for that. I really don't understand. Are you my sisters, or the enemy troops from the other side? Why do you always side with that man who annoys me so much? The girls who just spoke all looked at Luo Wanqing speechlessly, also showing some disdain for his reaction. The round-faced girl was about to say something else, but was pulled back by another girl. Forget it, Luo Wanqing. We're only giving you well-meaning advice as good friends, because you didn't bully us when the Luo family was prosperous. If you don't want to listen, then forget it. We won't say these things again in the future, but we still have to remind you. A few years ago, Song Jingnan had a physical exam at my brother's place. His health is perfectly fine. There's no hereditary family disease at all. What he said passionately in that live stream might just be to attract fans and grab traffic. You'd better look at it rationally. Even if it were true, the woman he deeply loves couldn't possibly be you. If it were you, he wouldn't have married someone else. Looking at today's events, he's probably just using you to make his wife jealous. Some things can only be seen more clearly from an observer's perspective. Luo Wanqing's character wasn't actually when the Luo family was well off before. Although he was an arrogant and domineering young lady, he never bullied others with his power. Instead, the sisters around him had more or less received favors from the Luo family. So after the Luo family's downfall, during those initially difficult days, they also extended helping hands quite often. These years they've maintained contact with Luo Wanqing, but none of these words they said did Luo Wanqing listen to. I don't know which sentence angered him. He immediately changed his expression, rudely interrupting what his friend was saying. Song Jingnan is no longer the campus god from school. The academic genius is just your old impression of him. You've idealized his character. Everyone is selfish. Wanqing, shut up. You don't understand Jingnan at all. What right do you have to gossip here? He stood up with eyebrows raised coldly, pointing at his former close sisters in embarrassed anger, even angrily threw the beer in his hand to the ground, his tone disdainful and sarcastic, especially saying that when the Luo family went bankrupt, even now I'm not doing worse than you all. You don't have the capital to teach me how to do things, how to be a person. I treat you as lifelong friends. Do you really think you're so great that you can point fingers at my life? So what if I don't cherish Ethan? He's my lapdog who won't leave no matter how I drive him away. What does it have to do with you? I think you're just jealous of my good fortune, jealous that whether before or now, I live better than all of you. From now on, my affairs are none of your business. I won't allow you to slander in front of me. Jingnan, you don't understand the truth of the matter at all. When I rushed to his side, he was indeed lying weakly alone in the hospital, depressed and dispirited. It was I who accompanied him traveling to lift his spirits. That slowly improved his mood. He's long given up on his previous marriage. Otherwise he wouldn't have agreed in the live stream to fans' unreasonable requests to be ambiguous with me. I really don't understand you people. Why you defend Ethan so much. But now I know. You just want to use me, pretend to speak well of Ethan, so you can leave a good impression with him later, and gain benefits for your families, right? HMPH, Ethan has everything. Young and promising, successful in career. I'll still marry him in the future. But what about Jingnan? He now has nothing. A failed marriage, a stagnant career, even a body full of illness. Even as just a friend, what's wrong with me accompanying and caring for him? The sisters around him looked at each other, watching him with disappointment. Since you're so stubborn, you'd better never regret what you're doing now. Finally shaking their heads and leaving. In the bar, Only Luo Wanqing was left alone drinking. I was also numbed by cigarettes and alcohol, immersed in my own world. My heart had already drifted far away, not knowing what I was thinking. Seemed like I thought of everything, yet nothing at all, until my phone's ringtone pulled me back to reality again. I glanced at it. It was from Luo Wanqing not far away, who was drunk and collapsed on the sofa. Clearly not long ago he just told me to calm down. Now why was he calling me again? Just as I hesitated whether to hang up, I remembered in my mind the system's hesitant struggle. I was amused by this cold system, showing a humanized moment, finally chose to answer. His voice was full of exhaustion, as if carrying some grievance. He spoke weakly. "Ethan, I'm drunk. Can you come pick me up? My stomach hurts so much, I want to drink the porridge you make. I feel like my stomach pain is going to kill me. Ethan, I need you." A phrase all too familiar. I didn't refuse, expressionlessly said, "Okay." After hanging up, I went to the restroom, smoked for a long time, finally pressing those overwhelming memories. Deep down in my heart, I am the host chosen by the system to do missions. I'm both lucky and unlucky. Lucky because I know I'll have many different lives, but unlucky because I can't be emotionless and desireless. As a strategist, to some degree, I'm undoubtedly a failure. I made the most taboo mistake. I fell for my strategy target, causing me in this strategy mission to suffer setbacks repeatedly, and my emotions to be affected. Many times my heart ached faintly. No matter how I pretended, it was useless. I could deceive others but not myself. Only I knew the sadness and unwillingness in my heart. But how could I not be sad? That was 5 years. 5 years of daily companionship, wholehearted devotion, giving everything, and earnestly paying, not 5 or 6 days. To some degree, Luo Wanqing was the first girl to have so much contact with me, also the first to live with me day and night, gradually attracting me, making me involuntarily feel hormonal impulses and love for him. So he was my first love. Sometimes I'm truly crazily jealous of the male lead song Jingnen. Luo Wanqing loves him so much he can't see my devotion to him. But it's also even now. After all, I initially approached him, also just because of the strategy target. Although I developed feelings midway, it indeed started to complete the objective. Now he's also hurt me, chosen someone else. My strategy is destined to fail. Between us, we're even. Now I'm graciously taking back my love. I don't regret my past sincere efforts and earnest love. Similarly, I dare to love and hate. Now I just want to accept fate. Do what a strategist should do. Not angry, not jealous, not sad, not desperate. Obedient, understanding, quietly enduring until the strategy ends. At that time, whether I'm punished and eliminated by the system in this world, or given reduced punishment with new options, neither would be the worst beginning for me. Anyway, my life will continue. Eliminated here. I'll start anew in another world. Cycle after cycle. It's just missing one segment of memory from here. For me, it's also a kind of liberation. I once again organized all my thoughts. When I appeared in front of Luo Wanqing, feeling completely relieved. He had collapsed drunk on the sofa, and was already drowsily falling asleep. I gently lifted him up and carried him outside. His brow was tightly furrowed, his face full of pain. Sensing the warmth of my embrace, he clutched my clothes pitifully and said, "Adrian, my stomach hurts so much. Why did you treat me like that today?" "Adrian, I don't believe it. I really don't believe that seeing me wronged, crying and beaten, you felt nothing in your heart. Adrian must have his own difficulties, right? Adrian, after all these years, I've discovered I've never been able to forget you. I beg you to turn around and look at me, okay? Adrian, do you love me? Have you ever loved me?" Every sentence carried suppressed sorrow, yet was utterly sincere. They say people talk nonsense when drunk, but when a person is in an unconscious state, what they can think of is the deepest person in their heart, their most beloved. This nonsense is also the truth spoken through alcohol. Sure enough, no matter how much I do, the person he loves in his heart will always only be the male lead. Fortunately, I withdrew my love in time, although I still feel hurt and pain. These pains will eventually pass, and I will completely distance myself from him. I think that day shouldn't be far off. I suspected Luo Wanqing didn't go to his parents' place, because his parents were still traveling abroad, and hadn't returned. So he was here drinking alone, looking at him drunk yet still clutching my clothes, constantly rambling, crying about his hidden and suppressed love. I really couldn't remain expressionless, and take him back to my place. Moreover, I had already decided, aside from superficially following the mission, I wouldn't have any extra contact with him. So when he kept calling Adrian, my stomach hurt so much. Please feel sorry for me. I decided to take a taxi and send him to the hospital. Not long after getting in the car, Luo Wanqing's phone rang. I instinctively glanced at it. Sure enough, the one texting him so late at night was exactly the male lead song, Jingnan, that he loved beyond redemption. Luo Wanqing, have some self-respect. Sissy is back. I don't want to make her jealous. Don't be so inappropriate in the future. Calling me in the middle of the night. You called 7 or 8 times tonight. Sissy is already unhappy. That's why I blocked your calls. If your stomach hurts, go to the hospital yourself. What's the point of calling me? Don't you still have Ethan? If all else fails, call him. He definitely won't ignore you. Message after message seemed to be mocking me for being nothing but a backup from start to finish. So he had called Song Jingnan first. Only thought of me, this backup. After getting no response, I should have gotten used to this long ago. I carried him to the emergency room and registered him, explained the basic situation to the doctor, completed the relevant procedures, and settled him in a hospital bed. But I didn't look at him once. When I was about to leave, he opened his misty eyes, crying and grabbing my hand, drowsily pleading, Adrian, I won't let you go. Since you came today, please stay with me, okay? I've loved you for so many years too. I was the one who knew you first. I liked you since sophomore year. I was the one who wrote your first love letter. Feelings should have a first-come, first-served basis. What aspect of me can't compare to her? Why won't you love me properly? Adrian, I miss you so much. I really miss you so much. These years seeing you doing so well, I felt jealous and unwilling. I desperately told myself I must forget you and restart my own life, but I seem unable to do it. Even during these 5 years, when Ethan was obediently good to me, even when I knew I should cherish him, should respond to his feelings, when I was cooperating with him in this charade, I was still thinking of you. How I wish the person living with me day and night was you. How I wish the person intimate with me was you. But Adrian, what exactly do you want me to do? For you to have a place for me in your heart. I'm really fed up. Every time I close my eyes, I see your rebellious appearance from youth. You told me that as long as you said it, I should believe it. This time you're not using me to make Lisa jealous. You're angry, you miss me too. You also want to get along well with me, right? He hugged my arm and cried passionately, aggrieved like an abandoned puppy. I should have pushed him away and left, but I don't know what psychology drove me. As if I was possessed, I listened to him finish speaking, silently waiting for him to fall asleep on the bed. When a nurse came to apply herbal stomach-warming patches, only then did I leave in silence. All the way home I kept thinking, why didn't I push him away and leave? Why didn't I make him sober up? Tell him I was Ethan, his lapdog backup, not his beloved. Song Jingnan couldn't hear these passionate confessions he spoke. Although I thought this in my heart, I didn't put it into action. Until I got home and washed away my exhaustion. Lying in bed, I still couldn't figure out why I didn't do that. Until dawn, before falling into deep sleep, I told myself the reason I didn't do it was because I wanted to leave a good impression with this only woman who had close connections with me when I left this world. When I woke up, it was already afternoon. Opening my phone, I found Luo Wanqing had sent me dozens of messages and made several calls. My phone was on silent, so I didn't receive them. I think even if I hadn't been asleep, I wouldn't have answered anyway, with nothing to do, and it being a weekend, not having to worry about work. I opened our WeChat conversation. At 9 a.m., he sent a questioning message. Ethan, the nurse said you were the one who brought me to the hospital yesterday. Where did you go? Why didn't you stay with me? You clearly know I hate hospitals the most. At 11 o'clock, not having received a reply, he seemed somewhat impatient and continued, composing several more messages. Ethan, where did you go? My stomach still hurts a bit. I'm craving the stomach-nourishing porridge you used to make me. Can you make some and bring it to me? Then at 12 o'clock he sent a questioning emoji. At 2 o'clock the text turned into voice messages. His tone carried some anger and impatience. Ethan, you've really grown some nerve, haven't you? Actually, playing the silent treatment with me here. Is this fun? Do you want to have a cold war with me, till the end? Then why did you come pick me up last night? After picking me up, why did you leave me alone in the hospital? Is this how you act as a boyfriend? Ethan, I'm very tired and my stomach hurts. I don't have the energy to fight with you. Can you stop making a fuss? Even if you're sulking, playing hard to get with me should have limits. I'm sick now and really uncomfortable. Can you stop torturing me like this? Ethan, are you dead? Playing the disappearing act on me. I listened to his voice message expressionlessly. While hesitating whether to reply, he sent another voice message. This time it was 4:30 p.m., maybe after cooling down for 2 hours. His emotions had calmed down, so his tone was especially gentle, even carrying some coquettish charm. Ethan, let's not fight anymore, okay? I want to drink the stomach-nourishing porridge you make. This time I only paused for a few seconds before texting back a simple, okay. I had no intention of fighting with him, nor was there any need to fight. Now to me, he was just a strategy mission. I'd just treat him like my boss. As for the stomach-nourishing porridge, I would order takeout and personally deliver it, all to maintain my persona as a redeemer. So when the mission ends, the system would give me extra points to try to reduce the punishment of being eliminated. After all, my career here was just entering its prime. I didn't want to die young so early. This world was quite nice. There were many beautiful things I hadn't had time to enjoy. If I could live, I would naturally grab any opportunity to keep myself alive. The takeout arrived quickly. I casually picked it up and headed to the hospital. The weather was nice today, so I chose to walk there slowly. The distance wasn't far, about 15 minutes. The takeout wouldn't get cold either, just perfect timing. After all, Luo Wanqing always had particular habits. Didn't like drinking things too hot in those past 5 years. I would always patiently coax him, blowing the porridge cool before feeding it to him. As for now, setting aside other things, just last night when he held me, yet called another man's name, that passionate confession, I couldn't treat him so gently and carefully. On the way, I kept thinking about what the system revealed about the ending. It said there were 3 types of punishment for strategy failure. The first type was the most severe. The strategist would be directly eliminated. The second type, if the strategist had high cooperation and actively completed strategy missions, would accumulate some friendship points. The system would reduce punishment accordingly, extract the strategist's mission memories, allowing him to continue in this world and live out this lifetime. That is, the second type would make me lose memory, simple and clear, not affecting my ability to continue living in this world. The third type was changing strategy targets, making me choose a new target to complete this lifetime. But I also asked the system, after changing targets, the strategy difficulty might be higher, very likely competing with another male lead in this world for the female lead's heart. Whether I could win was hard to say, and once started, if I accidentally ended up with strategy failure, it would still be the same as this time, either elimination or the other. These 2 endings would repeat, like falling into an annoying dead loop. I couldn't help wishing it would be the second type. Thinking this way, I felt somewhat eager. It seems I can't get angry or give up. I still have to cooperate well, actively complete the strategy mission, try to earn friendship points for the second punishment. For me now, the second type wasn't punishment. It was simply a cheat code tailored for me. I couldn't wait to tell Luo Wanqing, if I don't love, then I don't love. Thinking this way, I had already reached the hospital entrance. But when I got to the ward, I didn't see Luo Wanqing. I called him several times, but he didn't answer. The nurse also said he hadn't been discharged. Just when I was at a loss, not knowing where he went, I received another live stream link, forwarded by Susan, with a teasing comment. Ethan, sometimes excessive simp behavior can be very off-putting. Don't you know that? Speaking as a woman, in some women's eyes, what you can't get is always restless. I clicked on the live stream and immediately saw Luo Wanqing. She was wearing heavy makeup, still in yesterday's clothes, but her eyes were entirely on Song Jingnan. Song Jingnan proactively ordered a very strong plum wine and handed it to him. I thought after being drunk last night and with stomach pain he wouldn't drink. But what I didn't expect was, after hesitating slightly, he downed it in one gulp. Not knowing what psychology drove me I called Luo Wanqing again. The piercing ringtone rang in the live stream. His phone screen showed Ethan calling. Song Jingnan glanced at it, expressionlessly saying, "Wanqing, answer it. What if your Ethan has something urgent?" Luo Wanqing's face looked somewhat ugly. He immediately hung up my call, even in front of Song Jingnan. He blocked me. "Adrian, you know, I clearly didn't agree to his proposal. He's at most just a dog in my house, coming when called, leaving when dismissed. He should be at the hospital, bringing me stomach-nourishing porridge now. No need to worry about him. It's fine to leave him hanging. Anyway, someone like him will definitely wait until I go back. Adrian, let's not talk about him. I can understand why you didn't come pick me up last night due to that relationship, but I just want to know, did you worry about me last night when I got slapped by that woman? Did you feel sorry for me?" The live stream comments started with a group of people crazily stirring up trouble and cursing these two. Holy crap, treating her about to be engaged fiancé like a lapdog, treating someone else's husband like a lover. What kind of values does this woman have? Am I the only one who thinks this man is also problematic? I'm speechless. When I followed him before, I thought he was handsome, spoiling his wife like a domineering CEO, the protective husband type. I used to think he was a good husband based on his passionate posts. But what is this now? Exactly. Even if he fought with his wife last month, there's no need to be so impatient to fool around outside. I think these two are having an affair within marriage. One is a homewrecker, the other a scumbag. What a perfect match. No way. I'm going to message that innocent sister. Tell her to divorce and stay away from the scumbag. Song Jingnan, who was originally carefree, seeing these comments, could no longer maintain the shock on his face. He suddenly sat up, glaring at Luo Wanqing with dissatisfaction, then frantically explaining to the camera, "Live stream babies, don't misunderstand. This is just dialogue for everyone's entertainment. Just a script. Please don't bring this into real life. In reality, I love my wife very much. This Miss Luo and I grew up together. Just childhood friends. Other than ordinary friendship, there are really no romantic feelings between us. Please everyone, don't be influenced by some troublemaking bots. All of this is really just script and dialogue. It's all fake. Miss Luo didn't drink or have stomach pain last night. It's just hype." While explaining, he held up his phone and left. From beginning to end, he never looked at Luo Wanqing again. I exited the live stream. My emotions too complex for words. Perhaps this is the male lead's influence. During these 5 years, after I realized I had developed feelings for Luo Wanqing, unrelated to the mission, I fantasized that during these 5 years of daily companionship, she could truly fall in love with me, completely let go of the male lead, let me replace the most important position in her heart, and we would just continue living happily and peacefully together. But reality proved that no matter how much I gave, it couldn't compare to one sentence from Song Jingnan. Even if Song Jingnan hurt her 1,000 times, in her heart, he remained the most important existence. And I didn't even have a chance to be chosen between two options. Without choosing, I knew I would lose completely. Lost in wild thoughts, I waited for Luo Wanqing to arrive, dejected. She lifted her eyelids, looking at me without any emotion, yet deliberately explained, "I thought you needed time to stew the stomach-nourishing porridge, so I went out for a walk." My heart filled with bitterness again. I was rendered speechless by her shameless lying, finding it both ridiculous and sad. To divert the conversation, Luo Wanqing shifted her gaze to the porridge. When she saw it was takeout packaging, her expression was already somewhat displeased. When she took out the porridge inside, her face darkened to the extreme. Before she could explode, I received a call from my assistant first, boss. Miss Luo's live stream conversation with that male influencer just now has been leaked. Now Miss Luo is almost trending with criticism. You're also implicated. If public opinion continues to ferment like this, it might affect the company's stock. Do you think we should clarify this matter? Since Miss Luo called you a dog she keeps, the board of directors is quite critical now. The phone volume was moderate. Luo Wanqing's expression became even uglier. After hanging up, Luo Wanqing was too guilty to look at me, but desperately tried to justify, "Ethan, don't listen to those marketing accounts nonsense. They're all deliberately hyping for traffic. I did go see Adrian just now, that's right. But it was also to give his account more heat, just cooperating with him on a script. What I said was really just lines. She emphasized the word lines very strongly, not knowing if it was for me to hear or for herself to hear, seeing I hadn't spoken. She added, and Adrian also explained in the live stream, it was just script and lines. I looked out the window, silently nodding, I understand. I clearly wasn't fighting with her, nor making a scene, but she acted embarrassed and angry, throwing the takeout into the trash, losing her temper at me. Ethan, what's your attitude? Clearly knowing my stomach hurts, yet deliberately sending takeout to disgust me. You're deliberately trying to get revenge on me, right? Not only takeout, but talking to you is also perfunctory. What exactly do you want? I turned to look at her and smiled. I don't want anything. I'm not angry either. I can understand and comprehend your feelings for Song Jingnan, and from now on, I won't interfere with anything you do regarding Song Jingnan. She was stunned, looking at me in disbelief, then tentatively spoke, Ethan, you're really not angry? I nodded, not angry. I can understand you, and I will understand you. Don't overthink it. Rest well. I have business at the company first. I didn't give her another chance to speak, directly turned and left. For the next several days, I didn't receive any more calls from Luo Wanqing. Right, she had blocked me, so I couldn't receive them anyway. Or perhaps when Song Jingnan was paying attention to her, stringing her along, she never thought of my existence. However, my assistant would send me recordings of all the live streams between Luo Wanqing and Song Jingnan every day. In these recordings, Song Jingnan was desperately explaining his relationship with Luo Wanqing, while passionately expressing his deep love for his wife, and occasionally hinting for Luo Wanqing to testify. If everyone doesn't believe, you can listen to what Miss Luo says. Luo Wanqing, look at the camera, face all the netizens, seriously say I never confessed to you, never said I liked you or loved you, right? From beginning to end, I've always loved my wife Sissy. You can help me prove this point. Luo Wanqing's eyes filled with tears. In this live stream of tens of thousands, she seriously nodded. Yes, that's right. Song Jingnan never said he liked me or loved me. He's always loved his wife Sissy. Everyone should blame me. I'm the one who's obsessed with him, entangled endlessly. I admit I love him. I loved Song Jingnan in high school. I loved Song Jingnan 5 years ago too. Even now I still love Song Jingnan. It's my fault. But love that's not mutual can only be hidden in the heart. Now we each have our own lives. He will always love his wife, and I will silently bless him to be happy forever. Please everyone stop dwelling on our matters, and I will soon accept my boyfriend Ethan's proposal and step into the halls of marriage with him, completely letting go of this past. Once this video came out, the buzz was even higher than before. Suddenly there were all kinds of opinions. Many people were mocking me as a simp and a rebound guy. Is this Ethan naturally a coward? Why would he revolve around such a woman so devotedly? Who doesn't know? Ethan, is this Miss Luo's most loyal lapdog? I bet he's watching Miss Luo's subtle confession to another man right now, secretly crying and heartbroken. But I guess a top-tier simp like Ethan will definitely continue pestering Miss Luo joyfully. Looking forward to marriage with Miss Luo. He'll probably keep waiting until Miss Luo changes her mind due to these negative comments online. The company suffered serious negative attacks. Stock prices plummeted. Reality was forcing me to make a choice. If I gave up on Luo Wanqing now, I would directly face mission failure and elimination. If I didn't give up the company I'd built with such effort, it would be implicated because of my personal reasons, unable to successfully go public. Just as I was struggling with this dilemma, Luo Wanqing made the choice for me, finally remembering me and removing me from her blacklist, calling me with a commanding tone, Ethan, why did you cancel my card and my parents' cards? What's the meaning of this? If you're jealous, don't say it openly, but pull these tricks behind my back. I order you to restore them within an hour. Also quickly announce our engagement proposal. Oh right, for the proposal scene, don't choose some remote place like Mohe again. I want you to choose Bali. Give me a century proposal scene that no one can compare to. Hurry up, don't dawdle and make me wait too long. After saying this, she hung up without hesitation. At the same time, a scene began playing in my mind. Luo Wanqing, who had just hung up, hugged Song Jingnan's waist. She cried with tears streaming down her face, her voice full of pain and regret. Adrian, I'm giving you up. I'll accept Ethan's proposal. Even now you still don't love me. This is truly more painful than death for me. Back then, You were the only one I wanted to marry. I wanted to give you my most precious thing. Please don't refuse, okay?" Saying this, she began actively unbuttoning her clothes. Her pale chest was quite glaring. At the same time, the system's cold voice rang in my mind. "System detected host strategy mission has failed. Due to host's excellent performance, will impose the punishment of changing strategy targets. Does the host wish to continue the mission, or accept the punishment?" My anxious heart finally settled, so I said without hesitation, "I'm willing to accept the punishment. Just changing targets, better than continuing." I didn't immediately check who the new strategy target was, but quickly held a press conference in the company's name. Soon, I was surrounded by a group of reporters, each one aggressively questioning and interviewing. "Mr. Johnson, regarding your engagement with your fiancé, is it true, as your fiancé announced on Weibo, that a proposal ceremony will be held in Bali soon? Mr. Johnson, what do you have to say about the public calling you a simp and a rebound guy? Mr. Johnson, can you tell the public about your personal feelings for Miss Luo? What kind of love makes you never leave Miss Luo's side? Whether it's the Luo family bankruptcy, or Miss Luo's heart belonging to someone else, you remain obsessively in love with her." With no burden left in my heart, I picked up the microphone and spoke without any reservations. "Sorry, please don't believe or spread rumors. I currently have no girlfriend, and there will be no proposal ceremony. As for my feelings toward Miss Luo, that's just the past. I believe everyone has a first love in their heart. Can you clearly explain how you fell in love with them? Emotions are very delicate things. There's no specific point you like, or what appearance you prefer. It could be one gesture they made, one look, and I was already in love. Love knows not whence it comes yet runs deep, but that was only before my relationship with Miss Luo ended completely, during the Mohei proposal trip some time ago. Before that, I'm sure everyone was clear. I truly and sincerely wanted to marry Miss Luo, but at my proposal ceremony, Miss Luo didn't accept me. Instead, she said sorry to me. She clearly rejected me and went abroad, choosing her white moonlight. So after returning from Mohei, I stopped being a simp. I cut off all the funding I'd been providing to the Luo elders over the years, and long ago stopped giving Miss Luo spending money. Even the wedding house I had prepared was listed with realtors long ago. As for the public calling me a simp and rebound guy, when they said that while I loved Miss Luo, I accepted it because when I love someone, I don't think being a simp is wrong. As a man, being devoted to the woman you love, giving your heart and soul, isn't that basic? I'm not some scumbag. When in a relationship with her, and loving her, should I have given her nothing and ignored her completely? But now if anyone spreads rumors or slanders, insulting and damaging my reputation, I will pursue legal action. After I finished, the scene fell silent. I had clearly explained that I had no relationship with Luo Wanqing anymore, and a proposal was impossible. The rest of the event was handed over to the company's people in charge to promote our new products. This was originally a new product launch. I was just using it to clarify things. In almost just 2 hours, this interview video shot to the top of trending topics. The comment section completely turned around. Even the company's stock stopped losses in time, and even showed signs of upward trend. My assistant was so excited he was dancing, constantly chattering in my ear, holding up his phone like a sparrow reading me comments. "Boss, listen to this comment. This young lady called Beautiful Frog Fish says, if you're going to marry Mr. Johnson. Boss, I just heard from marketing. This new product is in such high demand. The pre-order amounts are unprecedented. Boss, you really played this move perfectly. This wave we totally won. We finally caught this windfall. Boss, please don't mess up. Don't have any contact with that Luo Wanqing again. She really doesn't deserve you." I nodded seriously. The mission was over. I wasn't stupid. I had no interest in getting entangled with her anymore. But I was very curious about Luo Wanqing's reaction when she saw this video. She didn't keep me waiting long. Less than a morning later, she stormed into my company, furiously throwing her bag on my office desk, hysterically questioning, "Ethan, what the hell does this mean? You're stepping on me to ride the wave of traffic, aren't you?" I looked at her expressionlessly, shouting to my assistant outside, "What are the security guards for? Don't let random people in during work hours." Luo Wanqing stood there with a dark face, frozen, staring wide-eyed in disbelief. seeing my serious expression. She became embarrassed and angry again. Ethan, there are no netizens or reporters here. How long are you going to keep pretending? Now the whole internet is cursing me. Are you satisfied? How long are you going to keep this up? This matter had finally calmed down. Now you've stirred it up even bigger. Are you trying to drive me to death? You won't be satisfied until you turn Adrian and me upside down, will you? At this point, security came to escort Luo Wanqing out. Luo Wanqing was furious, pointing at me and making hysterical threats. Fine, Ethan, so you've got guts now. Now you know how to protect your face in public. I want to see how long you'll care about face. I'll wait for the day you kneel down and beg me to reconcile. She pushed away security and stormed out, slamming the door. My ears finally had some peace. However, Luo Wanqing seemed certain I couldn't leave her. After leaving the company, she went to a bar and spent wildly, grandly announcing she'd pay for everyone's drinks. When it came time to pay, she wanted to charge it to my account. In the past, no matter where she went to spend, it was always charged to my account, and I would always rush over to pay the bill. As for this time, I had already notified the places she frequented that Luo Wanqing and I had no relationship anymore. Her spending had nothing to do with me, so this time the staff said they couldn't charge it and asked her to pay by card. She couldn't produce the money and had drunk a lot, already having stomach pain and a bad temper from alcohol. She got into an argument with the staff. Without any dignity, the two of them fought fiercely. Where had this pampered Miss Luo ever experienced such treatment? She immediately got physical with the staff. Eventually, both were taken to the police station. This scene was filmed by many people and posted online. Luo Wanqing's reputation darkened another layer when I came across this video. In the final scene, I saw Luo Wanqing sweating profusely, face pale, painfully clutching her stomach. When the police station called, I just explained the situation, but didn't go to sign anything. Without Luo Wanqing that night, I slept particularly well. But at dawn, the system appeared again. Host, this time the strategy target is Susan, the youngest daughter of the Su family, abandoned in the countryside since childhood. Solitary personality, extreme in handling matters, severely lacking in love. The Su family favors sons over daughters, thinking girls would absorb their brother's good luck. So they abandoned her in the countryside. Until 6 years ago when her brother died in a drunk driving accident. They brought her back, now grooming her as the Su family heir. I felt quite a headache. This target was quite unexpected, but it was better than someone with no connection that I wouldn't even know where to find. But what I didn't expect was that decisive Miss Su had such an unloved childhood. I couldn't help but ask, "System, please check. Does Susan have a boyfriend? Anyone she likes? Any white moonlight?" The system was silent for a long time. Just when I thought it wouldn't answer, it quietly mumbled, "Currently, can only detect. No male lead has appeared around the female lead Susan. But if the host can successfully complete the strategy and win the female lead's heart, the host will be promoted to this world's male lead and complete the redemption love suite plot with the female lead. It seems I still need to find time to start over with Susan. Of course, after the drama with Luo Wanqing, I didn't dare eagerly rush forward to establish presence. I was afraid of being treated as a pervert by that cold woman. It seems approaching through personal life wasn't feasible. I could only start from work, so I had my assistant arrange all products that could potentially collaborate with the Su family to send their materials to me. I needed to study them all night. When I drove to the company, strange numbers kept calling. My keen intuition told me it was definitely Luo Wanqing calling. After the press conference, I had blocked all contact methods related to Luo Wanqing. In the past, she never actively called me, unless it was to boss me around or command me. But now to call me, she was really going through great lengths. So many strange numbers. I wonder how many people's phones she borrowed. But no matter how she tried, it didn't stop me from not answering. When I wouldn't answer, Luo Wanqing changed tactics, switching to message bombing. After lunch, I temporarily put down my work documents. Looking at my phone, I discovered she had used strange numbers to send nearly 100 messages. Out of boredom, I roughly opened and scanned a few. I don't know if it was my imagination, but since the Luo Wanqing strategy mission ended, the system seemed to have suddenly extracted that trace of lingering attachment I once had. Now this woman meant nothing more to me than a simple stranger. Just like at this moment, I was purely reading with a gossip mentality to see what she would say. "Ethan, Didn't you say you'd take care of me for life? Ethan, you bastard. Not helping me pay the bill is one thing, but you won't even come to the police station to pick me up, Ethan. I'm giving you one last chance. Cook stomach-nourishing porridge yourself, and come see me at the hospital. If you don't cherish this, don't blame me for never loving you again. I found it both ridiculous and ironic. Standing from an observer's perspective, I could see everything much more clearly. Luo Wanqing only remembered me, this sucker, when she needed money, needed me to fix her problems, or when her stomach hurt and needed me to cook porridge. Now she was saying she'd never love me again. Didn't she find herself disgusting? When had she ever loved me? If she had any love for me, it could only be love for my money, the reputation and status I could bring her, love for my devotion to her. She was used to it, taking all my kindness for granted. Less than 20 minutes later, her tone became angry. Ethan, you despicable, shameless bastard, where the hell did you go? Blocking my calls and not replying to my messages. How can a grown man act like this? Don't you feel ashamed? Ethan, I'm giving you 1 hour to get in front of me. Otherwise don't blame me for being rude to you. But where did she get such confidence? And how exactly would she be rude to me? Truly laughable. Before, whether out of that bit of love I had for her, or out of obeying the mission, I indeed seemed to come when called, and leave when dismissed. But what made her think her behavior toward me could make me serve her like a slave for life? Now whether her threats or curses, they were all a joke to me. After the mission ended, Luo Wanqing was worthless in my eyes. Before the hour she mentioned was up, she became frantic, cursing me a few more times with unreasonable, incomprehensible words. But in less than 10 minutes, she overturned her previous seconds furious, scolding of me. Obviously all day today, she'd been holding her phone sending me messages. Ethan, my stomach hurts so much. Can you come keep me company? Ethan, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I apologize. I shouldn't have been willful. I shouldn't have ignored your feelings repeatedly. But Ethan, can you not give me the silent treatment? Thinking I can't contact you, can't see you makes me so sad. Ethan, I know I was wrong. I'm sorry. I already apologized. What more do you want? Ethan, my stomach hurts so much. I really miss you. Want to be held in your arms. Want you to personally take care of me. Ethan, please feel sorry for me. Let's make up, okay? Let's not fight anymore. I really know I was wrong. Less than an hour later, she continued stubbornly sending messages, all full of grievance and coquetry. Ethan, don't you want me anymore? Ethan, stop being jealous, okay? I promise I'll love you properly from now on. Put you first in everything. Never make you angry again. Ethan, a whole day and night I'm really so sad, so sad. My heart hurts so much I'm about to die. Ethan, I've discovered I can't live without you. In this day and night without seeing you. My mind is full of all the good you've done for me. Ethan, I'll never mind your jealousy anymore. Won't mind your pettiness. I beg you to come keep me company, okay? I know everything you said was just angry words. I know you're really angry this time. I'll give in to you. You come find me and I'll coax you. Is that okay? I promise you, I'll never be close with any man again. From now on we'll definitely live well, like we did in those past 5 years. Ethan, let's both compromise. Stop being willful, okay? Ethan, propose to me. I want you to personally put the diamond ring on me. Want you to hold me as we enter the halls of marriage. Want to be loved by you for life. I originally didn't want to reply, but I found it ridiculous. Couldn't help but reply with 2 sentences. Sorry, Luo Wanqing. It's over between us. When I wanted to personally put the diamond ring on you, you let the diamond ring be thrown in the desert and left without looking back. And those 5 years, what right do you have to mention those 5 years? The couple's rings that symbolized our love. Didn't you also carelessly throw them away? Don't think I don't know what you were thinking when you threw away that diamond ring. You were thinking about how to distance yourself from me, thinking about how to discard our 5 years, thinking about how to pursue your heart's desire, including when you called, commanding me to propose to you. You were still thinking about your beloved, actively undressing and throwing yourself at him, wanting to give yourself to him. How humbly you love, how selflessly you love. Luo Wanqing, now you think saying you love, saying you want me to put the diamond ring on you, saying you want to live happily with me, like those past 5 years. Don't you think you're being disgusting? I don't know what you're thinking, but I find the current you revolting. Stop appearing in front of me. You make me feel cheap, nauseating and disgusting." This outburst was actually unnecessary, but having said it, I suppose it counts as drawing a perfect conclusion to the love I once gave. From now on I will completely stride forward into a new life. Isn't it indeed a new life? A new strategy target has already begun. In other words, it's like dying once, and then accepting a new mission, just retaining those dirty memories. Luo Wanqing was no longer worth looking back for. So, I blocked all these strange numbers. I silently picked up the materials in my hand, continuing to sift through this pile of boring documents, looking for which one would be more suitable for asking Susan out to meet. Until the afternoon passed. Near closing time, I finally selected a good project. After seriously doing my homework in my mind, I sent Susan a message. "Miss Sue, are you free? I'd like to talk with you about work matters." She replied almost instantly, just an okay gesture. I tentatively replied, "Then I'll come pick you up, and we can have dinner together, chat while we eat." This time I didn't get a reply until I had finished packing and reached the garage, waiting anxiously and nervously for a response, but it was just an address. After I drove out of the garage, I actually saw Luo Wanqing on the roadside. Her hair was disheveled. Her whole body was soaked by the rain. It was drizzling outside at the time. Her thin figure stood swaying in the rain. When she saw my car, she frantically rushed over and pounded on the glass. I don't know if it was my imagination, but I actually saw what looked like her crying. "Ethan, you bastard, how can you treat me like this?" She pounded on my car window, while yelling at me furiously. I glanced at the time. Without thinking, I stepped on the gas and sped away. Rainy days naturally slow traffic down. Although the rain wasn't heavy, I had promised to pick up Susan after work. If I was late, that punctual woman would definitely lower her impression of me, which wouldn't be favorable for my upcoming mission completion. But Susan really was a peculiar woman. She was extremely punctual. In a daze, I remembered the first time we discussed collaboration, because Luo Wanqing wanted to go shopping and insisted I drive her. So I was delayed 15 minutes on the road. When I arrived, Susan had already left. My assistant said she didn't even leave a pleasant expression. Later, my assistant had to make several trips to get another chance to renegotiate the contract. But throughout the drive I felt conflicted, feeling like I'd jumped out of one pit, only to drill into another. But according to what the system said, people like us are born to be chosen for strategy missions, and it's an infinite loop. I have no choice, which gives me a headache. I'm very averse to these so-called strategy missions. People are emotional creatures. It's hard not to develop feelings through daily interaction, and I always feel that not developing any feelings, approaching someone with ulterior motives for mission completion, being kind with ulterior motives isn't fair to the other party, like how I'm now using all my strength to approach Susan, to redeem her, and smooth over those wounds in her heart. Yet ultimately, I'm only approaching her to complete the mission. This really isn't fair to her. Just as I was struggling with this, the system spoke seriously in my mind. "Host, haven't you ever thought about finding your own love and happiness in these strategy lives?" I was stunned. Silence doesn't mean I haven't thought about it. But what's the point of thinking about it? I thought about having an unforgettable love with Luo Wanqing, happily and smoothly completing this lifetime, being deeply in love emotionally, and gradually expanding my career in life. But I put in so much effort and still didn't succeed. The system detected my thoughts in my mind. After knowing what I was thinking, it consoled me very humanely. "That only shows you were unlucky last time. The strategy target you encountered was destined to only be a devoted supporting female character. You came too late. The person she loved wasn't you. Her devotion wasn't given to you either. So no matter how much you gave, you couldn't warm that hardened stone. But this time, you're very lucky with your target. Miss Sue is the female lead, and currently has no male lead. If you perform well and make her feel something for you, and develop those feelings into love, wouldn't you smoothly become her male lead? If you also have feelings for her, try seriously. See if you can spark the flames of love. Once a strategy mission gets mixed with love, it won't be so rigid anymore, and your own life will be lived with more flavor, not so stiff." I suddenly felt the system made a lot of sense. Do I have feelings for Susan? It seems I do. I'm not the type who gets hurt once and then closes off their heart from love. On the contrary, to some degree. Susan and I have very similar family backgrounds. I can guess what she craves most in her heart, just like I know what I crave most. Thinking this way, I seemed to know which direction to go next. When I arrived, I saw Susan coming down from upstairs. Not early, not late, just right on time. As she hesitated whether to sit in front or back, I quickly got out and opened the passenger door for her, very gentlemanly, inviting her into the car. She was stunned for a moment, but didn't hesitate. After getting in, the atmosphere was somewhat awkward. I learned from the system that she usually spoke little, never initiated conversation. So I opened the conversation. "Miss Sue, what would you like to eat?" Whatever, the word whatever seemed simple, but was really hard to choose from. Fortunately, I was already prepared, so I said teasingly, "Miss Sue, since you said whatever, you better not regret it later." She was stunned, looking at me strangely. The word regret doesn't exist in my dictionary, so I quickly opened my phone, fiddled around for a while before driving off. On the road, she kept looking at the scenery outside. Susan was very beautiful. If Luo Wanqing was the willful, pampered princess type, then Susan was the resilient and proud beauty, very fresh and refined. When not speaking, she was more like a figure in a painting, giving people a sacred feeling that couldn't be violated. But I've always liked being naturally friendly. Throughout the journey, I kept finding topics, chatting with her sporadically. "Miss Sue, those 3 prime advertising spots at your company for the second half of the year haven't been rented out yet, right?" She nodded. Why are you interested?" "Yes, I want to rent them." She became serious, somewhat puzzled. "But as far as I know, your company's new products already have suitable advertising spots, also in prime locations. Are you releasing new products again? When will they be launched? Isn't renting for the second half of the year a bit early?" I smiled. "No new products." Under her increasingly puzzled gaze, I pretended to be profound. "I've made quite a bit of money these years. I'm not short on cash anymore. My business has gradually stabilized. I want to do some charitable work." She became even more interested, seriously waiting for me to continue. Just then there were some students with backpacks, walking forward in the evening light. I casually pointed and continued. "Look at these kids, so carefree. They go home and have food to eat. Tomorrow there will be school. Looking at us, after work we only need to worry about what to eat, not worry about whether there will be food tomorrow. There are still many children in this world, including many adults. They live in remote mountainous areas. Children have difficulty going to school, difficulty with basic sustenance. Even walking out of the mountains, there aren't even basic mountain paths. I'm renting advertising space to promote those remote mountain villages where even schooling, education, basic sustenance and road construction can't be solved. One person's ability is limited, but truly magnifying this effort, getting the general public to join this type of investment together. Only then can we truly help them. I admit I'm saying this with purpose, because I learned from the system that Susan ate at different households as a child. For schooling, the whole village found ways to pool money by selling potatoes for her. I also know that though she was brought back by the Su family these years, she's been manipulated like a puppet, sending all her money back to the mountain village, living like an ordinary person herself. Of course, I have my own thoughts too. In the real world, didn't I also grow up in such an environment? My parents divorced when I was young, no complete family, growing up with my grandfather, who made a living chopping wood. Schooling depended on grandfather, on myself walking out a mountain path, having been rained on myself. So now when I have the ability, I want to help others too. The long silence made my heart race, but I've always liked turning passive into active. So I continued. Otherwise, if Miss Sue finds it inconvenient, or if it's already rented out, I won't make it difficult. I can find other suitable advertising spots. This promotional and investment matter, I've already started working on. In a while, I estimate, I'll hold a large charitable organization event. I'll invite Miss Sue to make an appearance then. I didn't look at Susan, continuing to drive. This time she spoke, but her voice was somewhat choked. "I'll discuss the advertising spots after I go back. We can arrange for people to come negotiate. Basically, there shouldn't be much problem. Also, thank you on behalf of those people." I pretended not to notice her emotions, continuing to park and inviting her to get out. Seeing the car parked in a residential complex, she was somewhat surprised. After getting out, she quickly composed her emotions. "What are we eating here? I'll know once I go up." "Miss Sue, don't worry. There's definitely something delicious to eat. Don't be afraid, I won't eat you. She burst out laughing, rarely saying, Ethan, you're actually very good, not like the rumors outside. I nodded smugly in agreement. Of course, one might be confused for a while, but won't be confused for a lifetime. I know very clearly what path I'll take in the future. What kind of woman I'll like. She looked at me asking, what kind of path? What kind of woman? Sounds very interesting. Of course, a path that doesn't forget the original intention. As for women, someone like you, real and able to fight alongside me. At this moment, I was so nervous my heart was pounding. She didn't answer, glared at me, and strode forward. But walking behind her, I noticed her ears had turned red. The system encouraged in my mind, not bad, host. Keep up the good work. I thought tonight would go smoothly, but never expected to see the dejected Luo Wanqing downstairs. I don't know how long she'd been standing there when I noticed. She was red-eyed, staring deadly in mine and Susan's direction. It was already dark, and the rain had stopped, but Luo Wanqing was still wearing those dirty clothes. She looked at me in disbelief, immediately pointing at me with trembling hands. Her voice choked with grievance. Ethan, what do you mean? Why are you bringing this woman to where you live? How long has it been? Are you together already? You're living with her, aren't you? Ethan, it's because of this woman that you deliberately ignored me tonight. I waited for you for hours. You coldly splashed me with water and left without looking back, right? Ethan, what exactly are you trying to do? Have you forgotten that the person you love is me? I know now. You're doing this to get revenge on me, right? If it's revenge, then you've succeeded. Stop torturing me like this, okay? I really know I was wrong. My heart gets tired and hurts too. Can't you feel sorry for me? Susan's expression wasn't good. I didn't have time. I didn't expect this Luo Wanqing to be so stubborn. Actually chasing here. I was somewhat troubled. With her making such a scene, wouldn't she ruin the good impression I'd worked so hard to build with Susan? Again, Susan's gaze moved between me and Luo Wanqing, as if watching whether I'd continue being a simp. To brush up more favor, I unhesitatingly put my arm around Susan's waist. Luo Wanqing cried even louder, looking at my actions in disbelief, crying even more grievously. Ethan, let go of that bitch. The person you love should be me. I held the extremely stiff Susan, who hadn't reacted yet, distancing myself from Luo Wanqing, and said coldly to Luo Wanqing, that's right. It's exactly what you see. I've fallen for Susan. She meets all my expectations for a future wife. But you better clean up your mouth. Don't let me hear you speak rudely to her again. I like her. I'm preparing to pursue her. From now on, I won't allow anyone to bully her or disrespect her. Luo Wanqing, please get lost. I find you disgusting. Stop getting in my way in the future. Instead of entangling with me here, you'd better wait to see how you'll raise that money to pay me back when you receive the lawyer's letter. The Luo family has spent quite a bit of my money over the years. Did you really think I was doing charity, that I wouldn't want a single penny back? What are you saying? Luo Wanqing looked at me in disbelief, her thin body swaying. I didn't look at her again, pulling Susan upstairs. After entering the elevator, I awkwardly let go of her waist, explaining with full survival instinct, sorry, I was quite presumptuous just now, but what I said was serious. Please don't rush to refuse. Even if you refuse, give me a chance to pursue you. Susan, I'm really serious about you. Oh right, please don't think badly of me. I'm sending Luo Wanqing a lawyer's letter to get that money back, because I feel my money shouldn't have been wasted on a dog. Thinking that recovering part of it is better than nothing. Then using the money for road construction. Susan nodded. Just said him. This made me a bit uncertain about what she was really thinking. After getting home, I had her sit in the living room for a while I ran to the kitchen to show off my skills. My assistant was quite reliable. All the ingredients were bought. I was washing and frying the steak when Susan came in asking if I needed help. I pushed her back out to maintain the element of surprise. Let her anticipate a little. I made it simple. 1 steak, 1 boiled shrimp, 2 bowls of longevity, noodles with fried eggs. When she saw the noodles, Susan's eyes became moist. Afraid she'd be too moved, I quickly said, after asking you out, I accidentally learned today is your birthday, so I presumptuously borrowed your birthday to give myself a home-style longevity noodle meal. You know, people like us eat out so much. We rarely get to eat home-style longevity noodles. Today I'm blessed thanks to you for making a cake. I've prepared everything. After we finish eating, let's make a cake together. Birthdays should be celebrated fully, borrowing your birthday. Let me mooch a piece of cake too. She still nodded, seriously savoring the longevity noodles. Everything went smoothly today, just that Susan spoke very little, whether during dinner or when I drove her back. She remained silent until I dropped her off at her residence. She finally said thank you to me. Looking at her with slightly red eyes, I said seriously, if you really want to thank me, then when I'm preparing to pursue you, please seriously consider me. Apart from this being good for her life, the system was ready to celebrate with fireworks for me. Every day after that, Luo Wanqing would come harass me. She received the lawyer's letter from my company. She was in a completely frenzied state, unable to believe I not only stopped loving her, but would also recover finances from her. But I notified security. She never managed to get in front of me. On the residential complex side, with Susan as my new strategy target, after that first time, I became increasingly proactive, always using charity events as excuses to ask her out repeatedly. We became more and more familiar. I seemed to really develop some feelings for Susan. I became serious too. The system was right. I should try to spark the flames of love. Everything on my end was smooth and progressing rapidly. On the weekend, I boldly asked Susan to go mountain climbing. She made a deal with me. I can go mountain climbing with you, but in the evening, you have to ride the Ferris wheel with me. I heard that on the Ferris wheel, you can see the night view of the entire city. I couldn't ask for more and immediately replied, okay. While my side was progressing rapidly, Luo Wanqing's side was going terribly. I don't know if the female lead intervened, but online things started fermenting crazily again. About Luo Wanqing being shameless, a homewrecker seducing a married man. According to my gossipy assistant's complaints, Luo Wanqing's parents had a falling out with her, even sold their house in Beijing. The two returned to the countryside. As for Luo Wanqing, facing an upcoming court date and unable to contact me, with no way to get forgiveness, desperate, she went to find the male lead Song Jingnan, hoping to borrow money for emergency. Not only was she kicked out, but humiliated by Song Jingnan. His fans beat up Luo Wanqing on the street, calling her a homewrecker destroying families. This ultimately led to Luo Wanqing's miscarriage. Witnessing all this with indifference, even watching the show, Song Jingnan made Luo Wanqing despair and lose hope, developing a mentality of mutual destruction. She livestreamed to the entire internet that the child was Song Jingnan's. Song Jingnan not only denied it, but personally exposed Luo Wanqing for years of harassment, affecting his emotional life. For a moment both were trending. Netizens watched the drama unfold. Ultimately, Luo Wanqing was still the one hurt, her reputation completely ruined. Song Jingnan brushed it off, chasing after his wife to continue abroad. Burdened with debt, Luo Wanqing could only work at clubs, making money by accompanying drinks. Humble to the dust, I didn't continue managing her affairs. Now between Luo Wanqing and me, there was only a debtor-creditor relationship. I took Susan to ride the Ferris wheel. She looked at the starry sky and the city night view. When reluctantly coming down, I chose the most beautiful spot for her to admire the Ferris wheel turning. I handed her the 10 million balloons I had prepared in advance. She laughed carefree like a child. At the same time, fireworks bloomed across the sky. I took this opportunity to promise Susan, these fireworks tonight bloom for you alone. Of course, this is just the beginning. It's the beginning of my liking you and pursuing you. When I win you over, when you also fall for me, I'll set off fireworks across the city for 3 days and nights to tell the whole world that I, Ethan, will spend my life making Susan happy. Her eyes became moist again, throwing herself into my arms, crying like a child. At this moment, I seemed to understand. The highest realm of love is feeling heartache. I felt heartache for her childhood experiences. Heartache that just a little effort could move her to tears. So I said very seriously in her ear, Susan, try to accept me. I want to have a home with you. I want a home not to complete the strategy mission, but whether in the real world or now. From birth until today, what I've craved most in my heart is a complete home. When I was with Luo Wanqing before, I never had this solid feeling, but now I urgently want a home. I want the female lead of this home to be Susan. I want to spark the flames of love in this strategy mission. Finally that night I got Susan's yes, although just one word. It was enough to make my heart bloom with joy. As I held her hand, leaving the crowd, Luo Wanqing ran toward me hysterically. She was crying, shouting my name over and over. Ethan, if I find the diamond ring I lost, can I get you back? I didn't answer her, because there was no solution to this answer. She couldn't find it, and it was impossible for us. Looking forward is life.